part 2 of this video with the Latte Panda, what is this idiot doing today? I'm running some tests. So I went ahead and ordered a enclosure for it that's got a fan and a little heat sink that you stick on to the heat spreader. Works really good. So right now I've been running this for about 13 minutes and utilization is 16%. Temperatures on the CPU are sitting right at about 40. Sitting right here, it's 21 degrees at this temperature probe. So we're looking at a 20, 19, 18 degree delta between the two, which is fabulous. I'm running it off of the phone charger as my power source, but in my hoard I found a 5 volt 7 amp power supply, so this is what I'm going to run it off of when I get the machine, or when I get this set up in the machine and it's dedicated to being used there. But this is just a test for, I guess I would call it worst case scenario, where if somebody had to go out and buy one of these, they get the phone charger and everything's just working. So I'm not running much on the USB bus, just the keyboard and mouse, whereas on the 3040 router that I was doing the tests on before, I was running the USB smooth stepper. So I'm not putting that much power draw, I guess, on the 2 amp charger, but I will end up, like I said, running this because I ordered a USB 3 to serial ATA adapter to hook a solid state drive to, and see if I can't, for worst case scenario, stream the G code from that. Right now I'm running a very intensive 3D toolpath of some necklace pendants that I made for a company, and I like to use these because it's very small moves, up and down, left to right, so it's very intensive as far as G code goes. And I'm running at 300% override, so it's going as fast as it can. Right now, here's the machine running. I've got it hooked to a Ethernet motion controller, so it's running off of the Ethernet port. So if we follow this down and around, it goes to that piece together controller there. That's my testing controller, or one of them. So I do a lot of this stuff, and I do a lot of tear outs and testing and putting some different components in, so that's why that looks like that. Another thing is I am actually quote-unquote streaming this G code. So the normal operating procedure, when you create a G code, you get a memory stick, you walk over you copy your G code to the memory stick, you walk over to the machine, you put the memory stick in the computer, you copy your files to the hard drive. You never want to run off of a USB. But this is a test, and right now I am actually running this code off of the micro SD card that's in here. Now granted, it's a very fast SD card. The cheap SD cards probably won't work, which I can do some testing on that as well. So that's expandable storage right there. What I would recommend, like I said, I'm doing a test. What I would recommend is, since this thing's only got 64 gigabytes of hard drive storage, you can use SD cards, or like I said, the external SSD as expandable storage. Copy the file you want over to the hard drive, load it up in Mach 3, and then run it that way, and then copy it back if it's something that you're going to be doing a lot of. So there's some expandability here. And this thing has also got 2 little headers down here. That's what this little cutout is. It's hard to see, but it's for flat ribbon cables, where you can stick a touchscreen monitor on this and have an all-in-one little touchscreen computer. So I'm looking at maybe doing that, because this monitor belongs in my office on my main computer, but it's one of the only HDMI monitors I had, so I brought it out here and I'm doing testing. So the whole purpose of this is the footprint. see the footprint. I'm going to have this power supply running it, which is still a very small footprint. I can hide this thing, stick it to something, and just run. That's why I have a really long cord on here. So this will actually go and plug into that right next to that fan header. There's 2 pins, so that's how it will get its power from that. So that can be hidden away somewhere. This thing's got a BIOS setting on it, which I really like. So the way I set my machines up is I have each one on a power strip. And technically, I would recommend having a battery backup as well. But this has got a BIOS setting on it to where it will turn on and boot up as soon as it sees power. So the way I do things is, if I'm not using the machine, I just reach over and I flip the power switch off, or power strip off, and that turns off the controller, the spindle, the keyboard, the monitor, or the computer, the monitor. So when I'm going to use the machine, I walk over, flip the power strip on, and this thing will just automatically boot up. You don't have to touch any of the buttons. So I think that's a really neat little feature for it, which makes this thing to where I can put it away to where I don't have to interact with it, and have a USB hub like this to where I can plug in memory sticks to it and stuff like that to transfer files over to it. So that's a really good option, a really good idea in my opinion. So the idea behind this is the form factor is very small. I think I showed in the first video where I've got computers up on shelves, and so there's the computer that normally runs that, which goes to that monitor back behind the case. I can get rid of all that stuff and gain a little extra space in my shop. This place is so small. So this is my desk area that I have, and normally this is covered up by this big laser cutter here. So I rotate that 90 degrees when I want to utilize the desk for doing stupid shit like this. So I'm $230 into this, and it's new. I'm a big fan of jumping on Facebook Marketplace, finding a $50 computer that's old, because Mach 3 doesn't require much. As we can see, we're only utilizing 17% of the processing power of this thing. But you don't know how long that computer's going to last. It could last 5 years. It could last a week. Just don't know. This thing is new. And granted, you can get a dud or whatever. It could die tomorrow. But it's new. I've got a warranty with it. It's small. It's plenty fast enough. It's a really great solution for people that have machines or have something that they're doing like this, whether it be 3D printers, laser cutters, that don't require a lot of processor horsepower, but it can get you up and running. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'm digging this whole process. So that's what I'm doing today.